Hi, this is Crystal the Herbalist, and this is video 5 of many that I'm doing here about the field of herbs. All about growing, collecting, and storing herbs. And this part is drying the different plant parts in detail. Last video it was more of a general, and now we're getting into details. So aromatics, they should be dried according to the part being used. Just be careful that they're not piled. A single layer is best here. Drying is moderate, always in the shade or indoors. Barks. Most barks are used fresh, yet they can retain their medicinal values very well when dried. So they should be in small pieces. They can be dried outdoors with moderate sun heat. Should be spread apart for plenty of circulation. Bring it in at night though, in a well ventilated area, so that they don't get molded or any other problems with it. Bulbs, these can be dried in the shade with good air circulation, or better still, they can be hung from the rafters in bags. Berries, these must be dried in the shade in moderate temperature, but not too quickly. Put one layer at a time because they can mold easily. Excrescents, appendages of the plants require only a few days exposure to the air on a table before storing. Flowers, usually used fresh, but can be preserved in the form of syrup, like cloves or poppy, and they can be dried, although drying must be done quickly and carefully. It depends on the flowers, on what parts need to be dried, but do not expose to the sunlight, and artificial warmth is actually good here during this process. A good test for the flowers is that the medicinal value is lost when the odor and the color are gone. Now the fruit are mostly dried in the sun, but fan drying and the application of artificial heat is good. Gum resins. They can be done in one of two ways, stored in airtight containers, or they can be dried and crystallized. So herbs, remove bad parts and either spread thinly on a drying rack or tie in very small bundles and put about a foot apart on lines in a well-ventilated room until completely dry. Leaves, now you want to pluck from the stem except those with small leaflets like thyme or wintry savory. Spread loosely on a drying rack away from direct sunlight, and making sure that there's circulation all the way around. And then stir sufficiently to avoid molding. Roots. Most roots may be dried and preserved for a period of time, but certain roots lose their medicinal value by drying, such as poke root. So that one should be done fresh or kept buried in the sand. So what you want to do is you want to clean the roots, make sure all the little fibers and the tiny roots are taken off. Anything that's decayed or wormed or any of that, make sure that's thrown away. Thick and strong roots should be split, cut, sliced into small pieces while the roots are yet green and fresh. That's the best way to do that. If the root is covered by a tough bark, make sure it's peeled off immediately. Don't wait for it to dry at all. Non-aromatic roots, fibers, or small top may be dried artificially with heat under 100 degrees. Aromatic roots should be dried in a current of cold air and turned frequently. Drying roots in a dark room is best, as sunlight will turn the lighter hue to a darker and more unsightly one. So how do you know if it's dry enough? If you can actually snap it in two when slightly bent. Seeds. Seeds and umbels, naked heads or pods should be left on the plant until ripe, then separated as told in video 3, then spread onto screens, a heavy cloth or canvas laid on the floor in a very well ventilated room. And so then that would be left for 4 to 5 days. Then the chaff is removed in the gentle breeze, and make sure maybe there's like a basket or whatever to catch the seeds. And then you want to lay those seeds out on a cloth-covered drying screen, another 7 to 10 days, turning frequently. Seeds of the fleshy fruit, after they're separated from the surrounding membranes and the wet matter, should be placed on the table or dry place and rubbed occasionally during the drying process so that they'll be clean when dry. Now, seeds are gathered when they're ripe, and they need just a little bit of care after 3 to 4 days on a clean floor or wire mesh where there is free passage of air but not exposure to sun. Then you can store it. So then buds, you want to do those the same as the leaves. Sprouts, same as the leaves or herbs. Make sure they're indoors and away from sunlight. Stems, dry same as leaves and twigs. Stalks, same as the bark. Tops, dry carefully as with leaves and flowers. Tubers, similar to the roots. Twigs, same as leaves, just a little longer. Rhizomes, same as the roots. Woods, same as barks. Sunlight can turn lighter woods dark. So that is the drying process. Tomorrow or in the next video we'll talk about storing these herbs. So I'm hoping that you're gaining value as I am, and hopefully you'll comment, email me if you have any questions. Crystal at Health Herbs. Facebook me. You can also comment on my blog.